G'day everyone and welcome to the Environment Agency's Flood and Coast Excellence Awards 2021. I'm Caroline Douglas, Executive Director for Flood and Coastal Risk Management for the Environment Agency. I'm pleased to welcome you back to this, our second year presenting these awards virtually as part of Flood and Coast 2021. The Flood and Coast Excellence Awards are a way for us to look back on the previous year to recognise and celebrate the great projects, programs, teams and individuals that set the standard for how we want to work as a sector and as a nation. And what an extraordinarily busy year it has been for us all. For the Environment Agency, the last 12 months saw the publication of the National Flood and Coastal Erosion Risk Management Strategy. This sets out our vision of creating a nation ready for and resilient to flood and coastal change today, tomorrow and to the year 2100. We've really hit the ground running with the more recent launch of the Strategy Action Plan and the continuing collaboration with partners through the Flood and Coastal Resilience Innovation Program. Earlier this year, we also celebrated the significant milestone of meeting our target to better protect 300,000 homes from the risk of flooding. This is an amazing achievement, especially considering that we and our partners exceeded our targets and delivered on time and on budget in the face of the immense challenges of the global pandemic. And that's what this year's awards are all about. Looking back at all the incredible work that we've done in 2020, despite the difficulties, and which have put us on the path towards delivering the long-term ambitions of the national strategy. The competition for the awards was fierce at every stage this year, with many high-quality submissions demonstrating how teamwork, creativity and innovation and professionalism can help us to meet the challenges we face, particularly that of climate change. So I'd like to thank all of you who put in nominations and all of you watching today. Please don't forget to like this video and to hit the subscribe button below. For more information about our winners and highly commended entries, please visit the Flood and Coast website after the ceremony. You can also join the conversation on Twitter using the hashtag FCExcellenceAwards. So without further ado, let's meet all of our finalists and find out who our winners are.
Our first category is Climate Resilient Places.
Hi, I'm Julie Foley and I am Director of Flood Risk Strategy and National Adaptation at the Environment Agency. And I'm really proud this year to be presenting the Climate Resilient Places Award. Climate Resilient Places lies at the heart of our new national strategy for flooding and coastal change. And that's because even with ambitious actions to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we know that sea levels will continue to rise well into the next century. And therefore it's vital that we plan and adapt to a changing climate so that we can manage future flooding and coastal threats. The award nominations looks at a wide range of techniques for creating more flood and coastal resilience alongside better protection. Let's see the nominations.
Our three finalists for the Climate Resilient Places category are Anlaby and East Ella Flood Alleviation Scheme by East Riding of Yorkshire Council. The Anlaby and East Ella Flood Alleviation Scheme is one of three schemes designed to control pluvial flood flows heading east towards Halton Price and Hull from the Yorkshire Wolds. The scheme covers about 47 hectares and effectively captures, diverts and stores floodwaters away from urban areas, reducing pluvial flood risk to 4,000 properties. It comprises spillways, watercourses, bridges, reservoirs and tunnels through a source water aquifer, all set sensitively within the landscape. The scheme is passively operated, working entirely under gravity and requiring no power or human input during rainfall events. The operation and maintenance of the scheme has been designed to be simple, low carbon and cost effective. The predicted effects of climate change have been built into the project, with the scheme being designed to cope with a 1 in 75-year return rainfall event, inclusive of climate change over the next 100 years. Little Stock Brook Even Load Natural Flood Management Scheme by the Environment Agency, Wild Oxfordshire, Bruin Estate, Milton Parish Council and the Even Load Catchment Partnership. The Little Stock Brook tributary is in the lowland Even Load catchment, with soils that are largely impervious clay, which puts the small rural community of Milton under Wychwood at risk from flooding. The Little Stock Brook Natural Flood Management Pilot Scheme was initiated to assess the effectiveness of using natural riverine processes, land management, and soft engineering approaches as a long-term sustainable solution to reduce the risk of flooding and improve water quality and biodiversity. The Environment Agency and Wild Oxfordshire have delivered the scheme in collaboration with the Even Load Catchment Partnership and local community, demonstrating the importance of partner relationships and the power of positive landowner experiences to successfully transform catchments into climate-resilient places. This pilot provides an efficient, sustainable and adaptive model that will deliver multiple benefits to both the local catchment and at-risk communities. It is hoped that this type of local natural flood management approach, along with conventional flood risk management schemes, will improve our place-based resilience to the long-term effects of climate change. Mytholmroyd Flood Alleviation Scheme by the Environment Agency, Calderdale Council and VBA Joint Venture. Following the devastating flooding on Boxing Day 2015, the Environment Agency commissioned VBA to design and deliver the Mytholmroyd Flood Alleviation Scheme and provide better protection for 400 properties. The scheme involved installing new raised piled and precast concrete flood walls, as well as excavating a widened river channel, which has generated approximately 100 square metres of space beneath the newly installed bridge. In anticipation of future extreme weather risks, a 300mm freeboard has also been incorporated. The team also collaborated with Slow the Flow to incorporate natural flood management measures into the overall design, such as installing leaky dams and tree planting in the upper catchment. By working collaboratively with numerous organisations and the community, the project team has provided a low-maintenance, passive flood defence solution for Mytholmroyd that will protect its people and places from extreme storm events for years to come. And now for the winner. Congratulations go to Little Stock Brook Even Load Natural Flood Management Scheme by the Environment Agency, Wild Oxfordshire, Bruin Estate, Milton Parish Council and the Even Load Catchment Partnership.
Very well done to the Even Load Natural Flood Management Scheme in Oxfordshire that is the winner of the Climate Resilient Places Award this year. The project has enabled testing of a whole wide range of natural flood management techniques, from woody dams to small flood storage areas to planting of trees. And it's been conducted over a period of 5 years that has enabled local partners to really test and demonstrate a whole wide range of methods for slowing the flow of floodwaters, particularly for a small rural community. Congratulations to many of the partners involved in the project. That's included the Environment Agency, Natural England, Forestry Commission, and of course the local community themselves. Very well done to all of those involved.
Our next category is coastal management.
Hello, I'm Mark Garrett, Flood and Coastal Erosion Management Director for Digital and Skills here at the Environment Agency. And part of that brief includes the coast, so I'm delighted to be joining the ceremony this year to introduce our coastal management category. Our coast is beautiful, dynamic and diverse, providing a home to internationally important habitats, national infrastructure, jobs, homes and heritage, as well as providing an amazing environment for people to enjoy. A changing coastline is not new for us, but it is on the front line of the climate emergency. And as an island nation, we have some key challenges to overcome now and into the future. This award looks to recognise innovative, sustainable approaches to protecting and managing coastal places and developing adaptive strategies that promote the long-term resilience of our coasts. So let's take a look at how our finalists are rising to the challenge.
Our 3 finalists for the Coastal Management category are Coastal Squeeze Research by Jacobs, Environment Agency and Kenneth Pye Associates. In the UK, large areas of coastal habitats have been lost due to progressive phases of land claim over the past 2,000 years. The Coastal Squeeze Research Project builds on 10 years of work to improve our understanding of the likely impacts of accelerating sea level rise on coastal habitats and sets out best practice for assessing the historic and future impacts of coastal squeeze at different scales. The project was developed in discussion with numerous organisations across England and Wales, including a multi-stakeholder workshop held in the early stages of the project, to gain input from across industry and organisations. The main findings of the research include the determination that historic coastal squeeze losses could be smaller than suggested by previous assessments, with potential reductions in compensatory habitat targets up to £25 million over the next 40 years. The project makes recommendations to more carefully consider the various possible causes for habitat loss and helps to improve our understanding of required management actions to improve coastal resilience. Fairhaven to Church Scar Coast Protection Scheme by Fylde Council, Environment Agency and VBA. The Fairhaven to Church Scar Coast Protection Scheme was completed in June 2020 and involved the replacement of the sea defence walls with a new 3-kilometre coastal revetment, promenade and sea wall, which now protects over 2,400 properties, schools and other infrastructure from coastal erosion and flooding. Sustainability was a key focus of the project, with the scheme achieving 100% reuse of materials from the demolition of the original revetment and sea wall, saving on virgin material and 4 tonnes of carbon dioxide emissions. Effective collaboration between the project teams and engagement with the community were critical to the success of the project, and the £21 million scheme was delivered early and below budget. This historic area of the Lancashire coastline is one of Fylde's most popular attractions, and the project team developed the design with care to preserve a sense of identity, improve the natural and built environment, significantly improve the safety of the surroundings, and make the seaside resort a fantastic place to live and visit for the next century. Scarborough Spa Cliff Stabilisation Scheme by Scarborough Borough Council, Royal Haskening DHV, Environment Agency, Balfour Beatty and Coffey. Scarborough is one of the premier seaside resorts in the UK, with over 3.5 million annual visitors. The town's South Bay is dominated by Scarborough Spa, an iconic Grade 2 listed building set within the wider Scarborough Conservation Area. There is a long history of coastal erosion and landslides along the South Bay frontage, and the cliffs behind the spa complex were unstable and at serious risk of collapsing into the sea. The £13.5 million cliff stabilisation scheme involved installation of soil nails and deep piling, new drainage and regrading to the cliffs. The works also created footpaths, erected stone walls, and provided new timber fencing, street lighting and landscaping to improve public amenity. The project required effective collaboration across numerous organisations and extensive consultation with the public, local businesses and stakeholders to help drive continuous improvement. The scheme was delivered with 0 defects and within budget, and now significantly reduced risks from cliff instability to over 400 properties, businesses and historic buildings in Scarborough's South Bay. And now for the winner. Congratulations go to Scarborough Spa Cliff Stabilisation Scheme by Scarborough Borough Council, Royal Haskening DHV, Environment Agency, Balfour Beatty and Coffey.
So congratulations to the Scarborough Spa Cliff Stabilisation Scheme for your winning submission. The judges thought this was a well-rounded scheme that provides multiple benefits and demonstrates an innovative approach to stabilising and managing coastal slopes. The project impressed with its focus on collaboration, public engagement, sustainability and heritage. Congratulations again to the project team for this major civil achievement, which contributes to a safer coastline in the area for years to come.
As the calibre of submissions was so high for this category, the judges would also like to award a highly commended certificate to Fairhaven to Church Scar Coast Protection Scheme by Filed Council, Environment Agency and VBA. Next up is our Community Partnerships category.
Hi, my name is Ken Allison, FCERM Director of Allocation and Asset Management at the Environment Agency, and I'll be introducing this year's Community Partnerships Award. Community participation fosters a sense of ownership and enthusiasm for development activities based on involvement in planning, implementation and evaluation. Participation in flood risk management fosters ownership, providing people with better understanding of their flood risk and what they can do when flooding comes. Involving folks in decision making gives those living and working in flood risk areas a voice, helping improve their community's resilience, and that's a major strand in our new strategy. So, let's introduce our finalists with great examples of community involvement, no doubt even more challenging in a year impacted by the pandemic.
Our three finalists for the Community Partnerships category are Hurst Spit to Lymington, Succeeding in Virtual Engagement by the Environment Agency, New Forest District Council, Hampshire County Council, Natural England, JBA and 3KQ. The Hurst Spit to Lymington project is a flood risk and habitat creation project being delivered through a collaboration among a number of organisations and with more than 20 different stakeholder groups, including statutory authorities, residents, businesses, landowners and conservationists. Being such an extensive scheme with so many designated habitats, public interest in the scheme was certain to be high, so the team had planned a number of face-to-face workshops and public drop-in sessions. With the emergence of the pandemic, all these plans had to change, and the team had to quickly adapt to using virtual engagement methodologies, with full use being made of web-based tools to support highly professional virtual workshops and advisory group meetings. The team also reached out to the wider public by distributing QR code posters linking to the Citizen Space website and online questionnaire. The project team successfully delivered these virtual engagement initiatives and have established a truly collaborative partnership with the community to ensure the sustainable future of this coastline. Ooze Washes Section 10 Works 2020 by the Environment Agency, Jackson Civil Engineering and Mott MacDonald. The Ooze Washes Flood Storage Reservoir is one of the largest in the country and is an important site for overwintering and nesting birds and other wildlife. Located in the vast Cambridgeshire Fens, it makes for a challenging construction project, not just from a technical and environmental perspective, but also from an engagement point of view, as this is a large geographical area with diverse stakeholders and dispersed communities. The project team adapted their engagement approach to suit stakeholders, local populations and the location of planned work. Notice boards providing details on the project were put up and public engagement events were held. The team also used social media and online consultation to broaden the reach of their engagement with the community and gather more feedback. Working with key stakeholders, community groups and other Environment Agency teams, the project team has not only increased flood protection, but has also enhanced the area's social and natural environment. Warwickshire Stour Natural Flood Management by the Shipston Area Flood Action Group, Warwickshire County Council, Environment Agency and Seven Rivers Trust. The Shipston Area Flood Action Group is at the heart of natural flood management delivery on the Warwickshire Stour. The group is made up of dedicated volunteers from communities in and around Shipston who have become an active part of the solution to the flooding issues that affect the area. This group drives delivery of natural flood management and gets hands-on with implementation, including engaging with landowners and the wider community to inspire others to take action. The Flood Action Group has been delivering natural flood management measures across the catchment since 2017, installing nearly 700 interventions, with 285 of these delivered in 2020. This number of interventions was only possible by building up engagement and trust with landowners. And now for the winner. Congratulations to Warwickshire Stour Natural Flood Management by the Shipston Area Flood Action Group, Warwickshire County Council, Environment Agency and Seven Rivers Trust.
Yes, congratulations to Warwickshire Stour Natural Flood Management. The judges thought this was a model example of how to do natural flood management really well, and were very impressed by its intrinsically local feel, from being community-led to using local knowledge, local contractors and leveraging local funding. This extremely effective approach is the very definition of an exemplary community partnership. So, congratulations again to the excellent Warwickshire Stour Natural Flood Management team. Well done.
Our next category is Digital Excellence.
Hello again, I'm back and really pleased to be introducing the Digital Excellence category. In our increasingly digital world, we are already seeing how digital technologies are improving our approach to flood and coastal erosion risk management. It's important that we continue to embrace digital innovation in what we do, so we provide the flood risk information services our partners and communities want and need, and so we better deliver solutions informed by those who know their places better than anyone else. That's what this award is all about. We want to recognise the digital innovation and improvements being made across the sector to make our communities more resilient to flood risk and coastal change. So let's see all the exciting ways our finalists are achieving this.
The three finalists for the Digital Excellence category are Advancing Engagement Solutions with Jacobs Virtual Event Space by Jacobs. In response to the COVID-19 pandemic, which threatened to halt engagement events and delay delivery of critical flood risk management schemes, Jacobs rapidly developed its virtual event space. This was also an opportunity to create a solution that enhanced the public engagement experience and could be utilised long after normal life resumed. The virtual event space has transformed how Jacobs carries out stakeholder engagement on FCERM projects and has resulted in significant cost and time savings. This approach is also more sustainable, as it eliminates the need to print materials and reduces the need to travel. The virtual event space has proven particularly helpful for engaging with those dispersed over a large geographic area in a more efficient and lower carbon way, and has enabled better engagement with rural communities. It is also enabling engagement activities with groups that are traditionally less involved, such as the younger generation, with an increase in the number of these groups participating in virtual spaces than traditional face-to-face events. Boston Barrier Scheme by the Environment Agency, BAM Nuttall and Mott MacDonald. Boston is a market town with an important maritime history that has been devastated by flooding over the years. The Boston Barrier, which became fully operational in December 2020, is one of the town's largest ever civil engineering projects, with over £100 million invested to better protect more than 14,200 properties from tidal flooding. Teamwork has been at the heart of the project, and through collaboration and the use of a common data environment, the team has unlocked efficiencies by allowing multiple suppliers and stakeholders to work in the same space to develop project information. The BIM, or building information modelling, is a powerful tool for stakeholder engagement and has been crucial for fulfilling the team's guiding principle of building it twice, once virtually and once for real, which is an approach that saves time and money. The digital approach taken for this project will help ensure that once fully completed, the scheme will provide Boston with one of the best standards of flood defence outside of London. Help Callum by the University of Hull, Lancaster University and the Environment Agency. Children impacted by flooding are often left with long-term effects on their health and well-being and are seldom given the tools to know what to do in a flood or how to cope with being uprooted from their homes, schools and friends. Help Callum is an innovative digital tool for communicating flood risk to the public and stakeholders. Designed through a multidisciplinary collaboration between social scientists at Lancaster University and the University of Hull, Help Callum uses 360 video and immersive storytelling to bring the real-life flood testimony of a flood-affected child to life. The aim is to exploit the unique advantages of these technologies to involve the viewer with the storyline, providing a closer and more emotionally connected experience than could be achieved using text, video and audio alone. Launched on YouTube in September 2020, Help Callum has become a popular tool for teachers to use in lessons, and pupils have been invited to respond and provide ideas about how to help Callum and prepare for flooding. And now for the winner. Congratulations go to Boston Barrier Scheme by the Environment Agency, Bam Nuttall and Mott MacDonald.
So congratulations to our winner, the Boston Barrier Scheme. The judges appreciated the first-rate application of building information management to drive multiple benefits across all stages of the project. This is an excellent example of how virtual reality can be used to inform design proposals by end users, resulting in savings of cost, carbon and time. Great jobs and congrats again to the project team.
The judges would also like to award a highly commended certificate to Help Callum by the University of Hull, Lancaster University and the Environment Agency. Next up is our Inspirational Person category.
Hello again. I'm back and really pleased to be introducing this year's Inspirational Person category. We all work with lots of talented and dedicated people in the flood and coastal risk management community, all of whom deserve recognition for their tireless work and the inspiration they spark in others. These are exactly the people that this award is looking to shine the spotlight on. As we do every year, we had a fantastic group of nominations with countless stories from across the country about the passionate people you work with and how their selfless tenacity and drive is making a real difference to the lives of others. So let's meet this year's inspirational finalists.
The three finalists for the Inspirational Person category are John Gower from the Environment Agency. John has worked for the Environment Agency and its predecessor organisations for over 30 years. He has led from the front in delivering the Hythe Ranges Sea Defence project ahead of time and below budget, serving as project manager and more recently project executive. John's positive, open mindset has fostered a true environment of collaboration across project partners, which has allowed a major capital scheme to be delivered during a global pandemic. John is also playing a proactive role as carbon champion, not least with his exhaustive input to the minimum technical requirements and showing great leadership with regard to carbon reduction and sustainability on the Hythe Ranges scheme. John is seen as an exemplar member of the team, with his extensive knowledge and enthusiasm well known and well respected. As a project leader, he has mentored new staff and has demonstrated an ability to easily integrate them into complex projects, working at pace to meet national targets and manage flood risk. His drive, passion and enthusiasm have led to fantastic outcomes, and he continues to serve as a source of inspiration. Katie Bourne from Jacobs. Katie is Jacobs' National Sustainability Lead for their Next Generation Service Agreement frameworks. In her role, Katie influences over 800 colleagues actively involved in NGSA project delivery and interfaces with client organisations at project, regional and national levels. Over the past year, she has inspirationally led the way towards Jacobs' collaborative delivery of the Environment Agency's strategic ambition of net zero carbon by 2030. Effective communication and successful collaboration are central to Katie's successes in helping advance the sustainability agenda. These are frequently demonstrated in her authentic and thoughtful interactions with clients, suppliers, and stakeholders. Katie is an excellent role model who empowers others to fulfill their potential by mentoring, supporting, and championing others and promoting a culture of diversity and inclusion. She sets high standards and challenges her peers in a constructive way and is always happy to step up to make the changes needed. By combining her technical excellence and passion for sustainability with her intuitive, thoughtful and kind nature, Katie is driving a change of culture, both within Jacobs and more widely with other partners. Paige Garside from Arup. Paige is a senior consultant at Arup who has worked collaboratively across organisations to promote quality, integration, innovation and an aligned vision. Paige also co-founded the Arup Young Water Professionals Panel, acting as the initiative's regional lead and most recently as global lead. In this role, Paige has established a network of over 400 young water professionals from over 75 offices, which has been vital in maintaining connectivity, sharing opportunities and motivating the community, particularly in light of the challenges posed by COVID-19. Paige has been described as an inspiring leader who regularly engages the young water professional community with thoughtful ideas and empowering initiatives, and has raised the bar through her commitment to helping others. She takes the time to listen to community feedback and promotes opportunities to develop skills and get involved in activities beyond their day jobs. The work Paige has done to improve the visibility of Arup's young water professionals has improved morale and encouraged the development of the next generation of FCERM professionals. And now for the winner. Congratulations to Katie Bourne.
Congratulations to our winner, Katie Bourne from Jacobs. The judges could really see Katie's passion for her work come through in her nomination and were particularly impressed with her focus on promoting a culture of diversity and inclusive working through networks and mentoring. The judges also appreciated Katie's relentless push towards sustainability and net zero carbon, turning research into operational practice to really make a difference. Well done, Katie. Congratulations to you and all of our inspirational finalists.
The judges would also like to award a highly commended certificate to John Gower. Our next category is International Excellence.
Hi, I'm Sarah Chard, Director of Incident Management and Resilience at the Environment Agency, and I'm really proud to be part of the awards ceremony this year by introducing the International Excellence category. Climate change is a global threat that we cannot manage alone and requires international learning, evidence and collective actions. Working together and sharing best practice will help us better prepare, respond and adapt to future flood and coastal risks on a global scale. This award aims to recognise the world-class practices and approaches to managing flood and coastal erosion from around the world and in the UK, where we show outstanding leadership. So let's meet our finalists.
The three finalists for the International Excellence category are Hythe Ranges and Lid Emergency Works by the Environment Agency, Van Ord, Mackley, Ministry of Defence, Jacobs, JBA, Arcadis and Binnies. The Hythe Ranges scheme is a major flood defence between Hythe and Dymchurch on the South Kent coast, with most of the frontage owned and operated by the Ministry of Defence as a live firing range. As works on the Hythe scheme began in early 2020, storms battered the coast and threatened a catastrophic breach of the sea wall in nearby Lydd. Emergency works began and a team was assembled to reinstate the sea wall. The projects presented many logistical challenges: heritage buildings, MOD live firing ranges, protected habitats, and a COVID pandemic. But the list of completed works is impressive. Particularly remarkable is the beach shingle recharge using a specialist dredging team from the Netherlands. Close collaboration and the unprecedented speed of approvals saw Lydd's emergency work dovetail with the planned Hythe scheme, achieving new levels of international best practice. International teamwork integrated the two schemes, and both projects were completed on time and under budget. International Incident Management Partnership by Rijkswaterstaat, Dutch Regional Water Authorities, and the Environment Agency. In 2016, the Environment Agency, Rijkswaterstaat, and Dutch water authorities began to closely collaborate on flood incident management approaches. Since then, the teams have planned numerous live flood events and have held workshops on identified themes such as crisis information, temporary barriers, and inspection of flood assets during extreme weather. International teams have hosted each other to allow for observation during live incidents and exercises, and have recently worked together to test different approaches to emergency response repair measures to compare their effectiveness in different situations. On crisis communication and public awareness, the team's communication officers have recently shared methods on how to inform the public of what the risks are and how to act. What started as an incident observation protocol between the international teams has grown to a close friendship in which the teams reflect openly on each other's strengths and weaknesses, and there is still so much more to share. Tyndall Air Force Base Coastal Resilience Study by Jacobs, US Air Force, US Army Corps of Engineers, and US Fish and Wildlife Service. In October 2018, Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida was directly hit by Hurricane Michael, a Category 5 storm which resulted in nearly half of the base's buildings being destroyed. The Tyndall Air Force Base Coastal Resilience Study project set out to evaluate alternative strategies to accelerate program development and reduce reliance on military construction. The complex and beautiful landscape at Tyndall provides opportunities to use engineering to enhance the ability of islands, beaches, dunes, wetlands, and reefs to provide resilience that supports the missions of Tyndall and the regional community. A number of technical studies were carried out to assess the level of flood risk, investigate a range of solutions, and develop pilot projects to test these solutions. The project's engagement activities involved over 30 organisations who worked together to identify over $4 million in potential grant opportunities. This project has been identified as a leading example on military installations and demonstrates how nature-based coastal resilience solutions are feasible in this setting and can attract funding from a range of sources not open to traditional flood defence projects. And now for the winner. Congratulations to Tyndall Air Force Base Coastal Resilience Study by Jacobs, US Air Force, US Army Corps of Engineers, and US Fish and Wildlife Service.
Congratulations to the project team for the Tyndall Air Force Base Coastal Resilience Study. The judges were inspired by this collaborative international effort and its identification of innovative, nature-based solutions for rebuilding in complex and sensitive coastal locations. The judges were also impressed with the alternative finance strategies the study identified and how this could be used to fund similar projects in other settings in the future. Congratulations again to the project team.
Up next is the Investment Business Case Excellence category.
Hi, I'm back again to introduce the Investment Business Case Excellence Award category, which recognises the importance of excellent business case development as a vital step in the delivery of successful schemes that benefit the communities that we serve. When shortlisting and choosing the winner of this award, a large projects review group take a look back over the previous year's business case submissions, and they vote for the one that they feel did the best job of presenting a clear narrative with all the necessary technical details required to justify public investment. One that raises no major issues during the review process and which complies with the guidance on how to write a good, sound business case. So, let's take a look at which business case has been chosen as our winner this year.
The winner of this year's Investment Business Case Excellence is the Lid Ranges Sea Defences Full Business Case by the Environment Agency.
So, congratulations to the Lid Ranges Sea Defences team for their excellent winning business case. This presented the appraisal options and tender process to reduce flood risk behind the 7.4 kilometres long Lid Ranges coastal frontage of the Romney and Wallen Marshes in Kent. The site is of significant environmental importance, recognised by a number of environmental designations. It is also a live firing range for the Ministry of Defence, offering a unique training facility owing to its geography. Best keep your heads down if you visit. So, well done to this excellent project team for presenting an excellent business case. Well done.
Up next is the Surface Water Management category.
I'm back to introduce the nominations for the Surface Water Management category. Our understanding of the risks associated with surface water flooding has increased significantly in recent years. We've got much better mapping and modelling and evidence. And what we know is that in built-up areas around the country, the risks associated with surface water flooding has increased. We've had more growth, more roads, more impermeable surfaces. And the purpose of this awards category was to look at places that are pioneering some innovative ways to tackle sustainable urban drainage. Let's have a look at the nominations.
The three finalists for the Surface Water Management category are London Strategic SUDS Pilot Study by London Drainage Engineers Group, Greater London Authority, Thames Water, Transport for London, Environment Agency, Thames Flood Advisors, Arcadis and the London boroughs of Enfield, Hillingdon and Camden. More than 200,000 properties in London have been defined as being at high or medium risk of flooding from surface water, with the risk increasing in the coming years due to climate change. Lack of space makes large surface water reduction schemes difficult to implement across much of London, and funding for sustainable drainage systems has been difficult to attract. The London Strategic SUDS Pilot Study demonstrates the multiple benefits of retrofitting small, strategically distributed sustainable drainage systems, including improving the likelihood of securing funding for their delivery. The study has applied an innovative hydraulic modelling approach at different scales to show that over 60% of the flood risk benefits can be derived by the delivery of 5% of the opportunities if locations are optimised. It also shows where SUDS can best generate sewer headroom capacity. The project team aims to use the pilot outputs to attract partnership funding from a variety of sources to encourage greater delivery of small, well-sited SUDS interventions, which can add up to catchment-scale solutions. The North Glasgow Integrated Management System by Scottish Canals, Glasgow City Council and Scottish Water. The North Glasgow Integrated Management System project, known as Glasgow's Smart Canal, is the first of its kind in Europe. The pioneering new digital surface water drainage system mixes the old with the new by repurposing Glasgow's 18th century canal infrastructure with state-of-the-art weather forecasting, real-time hydraulic simulation and autonomous SCADA control to create capacity in the canal during storm events and manage surface water flows. The £17 million project, delivered in partnership between Glasgow City Council, Scottish Canals and Scottish Water, uses sensor and predictive weather technology to provide early warning before moving excess rainfall from residential and business areas into stretches of the canal where water levels have been lowered by as much as 10 centimetres to create 55,000 cubic metres of extra capacity for floodwater. This system has also unlocked 110 hectares across the north of the city for investment, regeneration and development, paving the way for more than 3,000 new homes. This is both an innovative and sustainable approach to surface water management, utilising an existing asset to avoid the need for carbon-heavy new construction and reducing the impact on the combined sewer. West Gorton Community Park, the park that drinks water. By Manchester City Council, Groundwork, Guinness Partnership, Manchester University, Manchester Climate Change Agency and GMCA. July 2020 saw the official opening of Manchester's West Gorton Community Park, a space that reduces flood risk, increases biodiversity and improves local health and well-being. The €12 million 5-year project, funded by the European Commission, researched how nature-based solutions can work towards creating a climate and water resilient, healthy and livable city. The park's design includes subtle landscape manipulation to capture surface water and steer it into landscaped features, including street trees, wildflower-rich ditches, swales and rain gardens, with only extreme storm runoff being allowed to overflow at a controlled rate. The approach has been collaborative among different organisations and the local community. In the first few months of the park's use, surveys and observation methods have revealed an uplift in park usage and positive perceptions of the green infrastructure features. In addition, a number of enhancements in biodiversity have been recorded through use of wildflower turf and a mix of tree species. The project emphasises the significance of nature-based solutions within an environmental system and integrates both the urban climate adaptation agenda and the impact on health and well-being. And now for the winner. Congratulations to London Strategic SUDS Pilot Study by London Drainage Engineers Group, Greater London Authority, Thames Water, Transport for London, Environment Agency, Thames Flood Advisors, Arcadis and the London boroughs of Enfield, Hillingdon and Camden.
Congratulations to the London Strategic SUDS Pilot that is the winner this year for the Sustainable Water Management category. Across Greater London, there are a significant number of properties at risk from surface water flooding, over 230,000 properties. And that risk is only going to increase with the impacts of climate change. The panellists were really impressed by this programme of work because it's involved testing and developing a wide range of SUDS techniques across the whole of Greater London in a number of different contexts. And it's looked at small ponds, rainwater harvesting, permeable paving, and it's vastly increasing our understanding of how to take forward SUDS in particularly heavily urbanised areas. The other really impressive part of this programme of work is it involved a really wide range of partners, so London councils, the Environment Agency, Thames Water and the Thames Regional Flood and Coastal Committee. Congratulations to London Strategic SUDS Pilots, a really excellent winner this year.
The judges would also like to award a highly commended certificate to West Gorton Community Park, the park that drinks water. By Manchester City Council, Groundwork, Guinness Partnership, Manchester University, Manchester Climate Change Agency and GMCA. is the new Towards Net Zero category.
Hi, I'm Tony Grayling, Director of Sustainable Business and Development at the Environment Agency, and I'm really excited to be part of the awards ceremony this year by introducing the new Towards Net Zero category. Now, in 2019, the government set a new target requiring the UK to bring all greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2050. And the Environment Agency has taken the ambition even further by setting ourselves the goal of becoming a net zero organisation by 2030. This will mean not only reducing our carbon footprint from our own activities, but also working with our suppliers and partners to help them reduce their carbon footprints and harness new and emerging technologies. This award has been introduced to shine a spotlight on all the ways our sector is finding to do things differently to reduce carbon emissions and help us achieve our collective goal of addressing the climate emergency. So let's meet our finalists.
The 3 finalists for the Towards Net Zero category are: Flood Defence Cycle Path shows the way towards net zero by Jackson Civil Engineering. The Bromford Flood Alleviation Scheme in Birmingham better protects more than 900 homes and businesses. Part of the project was to build a cycle path funded by Birmingham City Council, which gave the project team the opportunity to explore where carbon reduction could be achieved in every element. Key to achieving the carbon savings was Jackson's close collaboration with its supply chain partners. The project team challenged themselves to innovate, to achieve a solution with the lowest possible carbon footprint. The resulting design was an innovative approach to path building, involving multiple supply chain partners, that is set to bring CO2 savings of more than 70 tonnes on the 2.5 kilometre path, compared with using a traditional asphalt mix, which equates to a staggering 90% reduction. One factor that makes this project so groundbreaking was the inclusion of carbon-negative aggregate, which is produced using material from waste plants. The finished material has captured more CO2 than is emitted in its manufacture, resulting in a true carbon-negative aggregate. The success of this trial means, going forward, Jackson will have the confidence to specify low-carbon concrete and asphalt in future projects, where paths and light roads form part of flood schemes. Land and Water Reduce Carbon Footprint at Coalstock by Land and Water, Tony G and the Environment Agency. Land and Water, working in partnership with the Environment Agency and Tony G, have recently completed a scheme in Coalstock, southeast Cornwall, with a significantly reduced carbon footprint of 75% and a 72% reduction in whole life carbon on the original planning design. This was achieved through redesigning the technical embankments to negate the need for using cement to stabilise the soils. This also prevented the need for dry cement tank deliveries through the local villages, decreasing the impact on the local community and reducing carbon emissions further. As part of the construction phase, a 14-hectare of wetland habitat has been created, which will support biodiversity, absorb carbon, and provide a new community asset. The project team faced challenges, most notably having to work around the technicalities of using the excavating materials from the intertidal habitat to form the flood embankments. The project looks to capture data and share results so that lessons can be learned to further the sector's net zero carbon challenge. Lincolnshire Beach Management 2020 by the Environment Agency, Jacobs and Team Van Ord. The annual nourishment of the Lincolnshire coast involves the dredging and placement of around 400,000 cubic metres each year, which ensures the continued protection of 20,000 homes and businesses, 24,500 static caravans and 35,000 hectares of land from coastal flooding. Carbon emissions associated with the works have been reported since 2006, with the main source coming from the dredger, as its fuel usage is directly related to the volume of material needed to sustain the defences and the distance to the offshore borrow area. The project team have worked together over the years on carbon reduction initiatives, with the 2020 Nourishment campaign being the first known incidence of biofuel being used in a dredger within UK waters. This marked a watershed moment in carbon reduction, bringing a massive 45% reduction in the carbon footprint associated with the beach nourishment activity. The project team also established a semi-permanent site compound featuring a suite of solar panels, charging points for electric vehicles and energy-efficient offices. By tracking carbon emissions each year, the project team has been able to show a marked reduction in carbon between 2018 to 2020, with further carbon reductions being investigated and trialled over the 2021 to 2024 contract. And now for the winner. Congratulations to Flood Defence Cycle Path shows the way towards net zero by Jackson's Civil Engineering.
Well, congratulations to the project team for their winning entry. Flood Defence Cycle Path shows the way towards net zero. The judges were really impressed to see that considerations for low carbon and net zero were front and centre from the start. The innovative use of carbon negative aggregate for the flood defence cycle path is a great step forward in the right direction and could be transformational if applied to flood schemes more extensively in the future. Well done to the project team.
And now for the Women in FCERM category, which is sponsored by Jacobs.
Hi, I'm Claire Dennis. I'm the Area Director for the West Midlands at the Environment Agency, but I also sit on the Women in FCERM committee. This is an initiative that looks to support and connect women working across the whole flood and coastal erosion risk management sector. So I'm really proud to be back with you this year to introduce the Women in FCERM award categories and to celebrate the people in our sector who are proactively influencing and promoting gender balance, diversity and inclusion in their workplaces and across our whole sector. This year we've broadened the awards out to recognise individuals who've made a difference in their own organisations, those who are making a difference across the wider sector, and for the first time the organisations within the sector who are championing diversity and inclusion in a way that stands out. So let's take a look at the winners for each category.
And our winners are Kimberly McPherson from the Environment Agency for the Women in FCERM individual category at the organisational level. Karen Thomas from East Suffolk Council for the Women in FCERM individual category at the sector level. And Jacobs for the Women in FCERM organisation category.
Congratulations to Kimberly McPherson for your win. The judges thought Kimberly's nomination clearly demonstrated a wide range of achievements at the Environment Agency in 2020. This ranged from organising conferences, acting as a spokesperson, but also, really importantly, mentoring and coaching colleagues. Kimberly was described as an absolute inspiration and praised for her courage and commitment. Congratulations also to Karen Thomas. Karen's nomination clearly demonstrated a really high level of leadership within the sector through raising awareness and promoting equal opportunities across a number of different channels. Karen has also been described as a role model within the sector, and she actively encourages the professional development of others. And congratulations to Jacobs for their win in our new category. Jacobs provided a number of clear examples of proactive interventions carried out in the last 12 months, along with strong evidence of how this has empowered their employees to drive gender diversity forward. The organisation demonstrated a really effective response to the impact of COVID-19 on the workforce and has introduced new training courses across the year to promote gender diversity. So congratulations again to all of our winners and our highly commended entries, and I look forward to seeing what the next year brings in terms of gender diversity across our sector.
The judges would also like to award a highly commended certificate to Christoph Zeiledstick for the Women in FCERM individual category at the organisational level, and Coastineers for the Women in FCERM organisation category.
It has been great to see another successful virtual award ceremony. Well done to everyone who put in nominations, and congratulations to our 2021 finalists and winners. With such a fantastic selection of varied projects, all making a difference, the decisions were not easy ones this year. I'd like to thank our judges for the time and effort put into narrowing down more than 100 excellent submissions to reach our finalists and having to choose our winners. Without the time and effort our judges put into assessing, reading and discussing every submission, these awards wouldn't have been possible. So thank you all. And I'd like to close by thanking you all again for joining us virtually to celebrate these awards. The Flood and Coast Excellence Awards are meant to shine a light on the very best of what the flood and coastal risk management community has to offer. And I think we've achieved that this year. Thank you all. We hope that you'll join us again next year for the Flood and Coast Excellence Awards 2022.